you yourself take groups of Wharton students and mid-career managers on annual visits to the site of the Gettysburg battlefield, perhaps, in fact, I think probably the best-known battle of our Civil War, which was, it greatly impacted the nation's history, to say the least. Who leads these tours, and what do you explore in terms of leadership and strategy?
In going to the battlefield, we take the ideas of the classroom or of the textbooks and ask our students, our mid-career managers, people like you and me, to stand where Robert E. Lee did stand, where on the Union side, George Meade, he was the commanding officer, the equivalent of Robert E. Lee, who, of course, was the commander of the Southern forces there. And by standing where they stood, for example, on the eve of Pickett's charge, we seek to recreate the moment. So as we recall, July 3rd, 1863, Robert E. Lee sends about 12,500 Confederate soldiers across an open field, uphill, against a very well-defended Union line behind a wall. About 2 p.m., it's about a 55-minute attack. And it is very fateful. It's a disaster. Pickett's charge has become one of those phrases we use to represent unmitigated disaster. But above all, for our purposes of this discussion, it's a turning point in American history. With Robert E. Lee's defeat with Pickett's charge, July 3rd, 1863 at Gettysburg, it's then 21 months until he ends up cornered at Appomattox, Virginia. U.S. Grant is there to receive the surrender. And thus, by taking people to stand where some of the great figures of our history did stand and make decisions, and looking around and imagining that there are 12,500 soldiers over here, there's an open field. It's pretty daunting as you look at that thing. You're thinking, how could Robert E. Lee have ordered that charge? Well, there's a whole argument behind that. But in our experience, this is a way of looking far away from home to get a better feel for what is back at home.